Hello, welcome to another edition of the Home of TSL show. Don't change the channel, it's still Home of TSL. I know it's not Bamiji you are seeing, it's Eniola, but you know when you see me, it's basketball time. Association is back in a few days, and I could be more excited. We're here today to talk about everything in the upcoming season. Today I have a few experts with me. I have Bolu and I have Treasure. Treasure, welcome to the show. Bolu, welcome to the show. I'm really excited to have you guys here. It's going to be an awesome.
I'm glad to be here.
It's going to be an awesome discussion. I'm super excited. I'm sure everyone can tell by the big smile on my face. So, what's your outlook for the season?
Okay, so within the season already, we've seen a lot of big moves already this off-season. So we've seen people like Damian Lillard get his, maybe not desired trade because we all heard the rumors of how he wanted to be like in Miami Heat, but we see him actually go to the Bucks. And then we've also seen big hitters like Drew Holiday move from the Bucks to the Celtics. And then people like Chris Paul, who has now joined the GSW. And then we're actually seeing a lot of all these moves. And it's going to build a more exciting season because we're not asking ourselves who's going to dominate in the East. Is it going to be the Celtics? Is it going to be the Bucks? Also asking ourselves questions around like, can the Denver Nuggets actually successfully defend their championships? This and a lot more is like what I'm really looking forward to this year. And talks around like Embiid being the MVP. Can he still repeat and get like another MVP this season?
All right. I mean, the man has said basically almost everything you'd like to say. So let's go to Bolu. I know you're a Super Bucks fan.
Mm-hmm.
What's your outlook for the season for your team? Do you feel like you're going to win it all?
Well, yes. And it's not just coming from like a fan's perspective.
Okay.
It's coming from a who's better, who has more experience related to championship teams, and who has the better team, who has like the better ball players.
Right.
So yes, fan or not, the Bucks is just a reasonable choice when you look at it.
Okay, so let me follow up on that, right? Many people last season, we all saw that in terms of defensive usage rates, the Bucks were, I think, in the top 5. But in terms of offense, they were not in the top 10. So it's safe to say that they sacrificed their defense for a bit of more offense, right? Do you think that will hurt you when you go up against teams that are ready to game plan for what you guys have on offense?
So we might have started bored, but I'll give him something. He was a basketball head. Now, why people like to think that basketball has become a 3-point game? 3 points is still not efficient. How many people are shooting over 35% in the league? You get these volumes you have now, but we don't have efficiency yet as a 3-point spot. So looking how you look at that from a different perspective, what Bud did was give away threes. So as I've told people, Drew wasn't adding to our interior defense. It was Giannis, it was Brook Lopez, it was Brook Lopez. But now they've added.
But Drew was in the top 2 or 3% in terms of perimeter defense.
That's what I'm saying. He was a perimeter defender.
Yes.
But we're still giving up threes.
Yes, but when usually, don't you think it would be easier for a Giannis or a Brook Lopez to defend better when the 3-point guy is chased off the 3-point line by your perimeter specialist?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So one thing people fail to look at is why Drew might have been one of the best defenders in the league. Dame is not a David Booker. No shit at David Booker. You get? But he's not one of those guys. You get? He's going to work hard. Now, why people don't see that part of Dame is he will play in a team where he was the primary shooter. He could not defend and attack at the same time. Now, he's not going to wear himself out. He's had to tell Rashford, stay, let others go run away behind. You get? When you play in a team where you're not the sole ball handler, like ball shooter, you have to defend more. So Dame, we've not seen him defend a lot, but he did not become one of the best players by not doing that to defend. He carried the Portland several times. You get?
Okay.
So you're not losing the entire defense from it though. It's still a defense.
Okay, fair enough. So Treasure, I'll come to you, right? We saw the arms race in the East when the trade for Dame went through. Everyone was scrambling. What are they going to do with Drew Holiday? Who's going to get Drew Holiday? We ended up on the Celtics, right? The Celtics had to give up Malcolm Brogdon and Robert Williams, a bit of height and depth in terms of their interior and on the bench, right? What do you think? Do you think the Celtics have a stronger team than what the Bucks have? And do you think they can effectively neutralize what the Bucks will try to bring on offense?
So you can actually argue this both ways, depending on how you actually want to look at it. Just as Bolu has already given us a bit of analysis with regards to the Bucks. With regards to the Celtics, yes, I think one of the biggest issues I had with the trade for Drew Holiday was the fact that they were actually going to miss out. They were missing on sending their center, Rob Williams, yeah, and then also Malcolm Brogdon, which was a fantastic backup guy, right, for the Celtics. That was as our last season. But I think getting Drew, right, that team, they lost Marcus Smart as well, and then getting Drew Holiday. So you're actually getting like better defender as it stands right now. Though yes, I know Marcus Smart was defensive player of the year at one point and everything, but you have Drew that can basically defend various positions, yes, right, and all. And then he is, as you have already mentioned, a fantastic perimeter defender, right? And then a lot of people tend to say, oh, he's shooting, but when you check his shooting numbers actually last year from the 3-point catch and shoot, the numbers actually went up.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we actually see that there has actually been an improvement when it comes to his shooting as well. So I do think when you look at it, the overall balance, my only worry for the Celtics is, can you keep Kristaps Porzingis healthy, right? If Kristaps Porzingis is healthy, then I think like, okay, they might actually have just a slightly better team. But the question is, can you keep the Kristaps healthy? If you have a healthy Kristaps with a Jaylen Brown, with a Jason Tatum, and then yes, also the Al Horford. Yes, we are still seeing like Al Horford, even at the prime old age of 37, still doing a lot of things, right? So I think that they could just have a slightly better team or a slight advantage. But then you have questions on whether you can keep someone like a Kristaps Porzingis healthy actually.
Okay, that's fair enough. So let's just say, safe to say that the top two teams in the East are Celtics and the Bucks. Either way you want to slice it. Let's go to the West, right? We saw the Suns do trades, the acquisition of Bradley Beal, and all the big names they were able to bring in. They also have Bobo and a few other guys that they were able to acquire in the Dame and Blazers scramble. I'll come to you, right? Who do you think? First of all, do you think the Nuggets are still the team to beat in the West? If no, okay. So what team is the team to beat?
Only the third greatest player to play basketball.
Who might that be?
Steph Curry.
Okay, Steph. So you are still going with Golden State. Oh well, Why?
So people tend to forget that as long as LeBron was in his peak, Cavs always had a chance. Mm-hmm. And Cavs were a relatively mediocre team. And Golden State are far from that. Now what they've lacked is they've not given most of their players time to mature. Kuminga is going to have a very big season this season. Kuminga has come of age. I feel like they've invested time and effort into him.
I mean, Kuminga is always going to have a good season. Everyone keeps saying that. I haven't seen that yet, but hopefully maybe this season
might be the season where it takes off. Also, Curry still has those like great seasons in him. He gets Clay is coming up with an injury. I feel like this should be the season where he fits in finally. Chris Paul might not be what he used to be, but I feel like he provides. They have a decent team, and they've not always had depth, but they just have always had like the first guys doing what the first guys are supposed to do.
Okay.
And Draymond Green is still Draymond Green.
I think I see where you're coming from, right? But in terms of outright teams that are going to disturb, are going to bring the noise or make the noise, we still have Nuggets champions, we still have the Grizzlies, and Grizzlies added a bit more in terms of veteran leadership in Marcus Smart, Derrick Rose. I think they got, I think that, but they will be missing Ja Morant to start the season. I think for 25 games. But when he comes back, I believe they will be in a run. I think they've invested a lot in their backup point guard in what's that guy's name? No, not Marcus Smart. There's another guy. Desmond Bain, yes, that particular guy. Do you feel like he's going to be able to carry? I know they got Derrick Rose as well, but Derrick Rose is Derrick Rose. He may not, he might step in on the court one night, give you 20, then disappear for the next 5 games. Do you feel like Desmond Bain and the $200 million contract they gave him, he can show the Grizzlies that, you know, you've invested in me, so you don't believe in
bad investment.
Well, there were a lot of bad contracts to go around this.
Yeah, but Bain was unbelievably bad. How? Bain is not the top 2 player in any team in the league. So how is he getting that kind of contract?
True. So, but you still believe the Golden State?
I feel like people don't like to think about this. But if Zion stays healthy, Pelicans have a better chance.
Pelicans?
Yes, because they have CJ, they have BI, and you have Zion.
I mean, this guy is really surprises.
It's not a surprise.
I mean, the
Zion stays healthy.
Against
they have Ingram and CJ.
If I mean, there's a lot of if,
Yeah.
but I understand.
If he stays healthy and like understand, like he's a very funny person. He's not matured in many circumstances. But look at off season. He has put in the work. He looks fitter now. He looks healthier now. He's tricky and he's very unhealthy and he's very indisciplined. But if he stays healthy and he plays 20-15 games in a row, they stand a very good chance. Who's going to beat them? How many teams have a better starting lineup than CJ, Ingram, and Zion?
All right. There's a good point in that. We're talking off camera about one of the sleeper teams that you believe will bring some noise this season. That's the OKC. Tell us why you believe OKC are going to be the team to be reckoned with.
Because they have a young core that is rising and developing pretty fast. And we've seen it season after season. Like the team actually looks like it's kept getting better. So we are seeing SG. SG had a fantastic season last season. We are seeing Josh Giddey also had a fantastic season last season. Chet Holmgren. Chet is coming back, and a lot of people are touting that Chet would actually be the rookie of the year and not Wembanyama as this thing because of his own unique skill set as well and experience that he has and all. And because of that, when I look at that young core and look at what they have actually achieved and what they are seemingly building towards, I do think like the OKC would actually be one of those sleeper teams that will surprise a lot of people this season. Remember that they actually managed to get into the play-in. That was even last season, and with a young team without Chet. And the thing about maturity and experience, we are beginning to see that as the season goes by, they are becoming a lot mature and gaining that necessary experience to take them the extra mile. So I do believe that OKC will be the sleeper team.
So about that, now again, some people might say me hater here. I'm not sold on SG as a player, as an NBA All-Star. I'm not sold as a leader of a team.
Why?
I feel like he's a free throw merchant, and I feel like
really,
yes, because I feel like he cannot. You can't play bully ball, and he has a very annoying way of
Are you sure you're not talking about Giannis?
No, I'm saying like no. When bigger players do it, yeah, when Embiid and Giannis do it, you can see where it's coming from. You get it's bully ball.
Yeah.
When people like SGA do it, it's like a small man. That's way to dribble.
No, but you do know like SG is one of those people like when he literally drives, you can't stop him. That's why he seems to have get a lot of fouls.
Again, players like that get. If you don't evolve or you don't have something to your game, either you don't get bigger or you don't play threes, the NBA will catch up with you.
Yeah, but it feels like from when he came into the league, when he was in the Clippers, he has added each off-season.
Every season
he has gotten better.
He has gotten better. I don't think he's I'm going to lead my team. Okay, if you're going to look at the sleeper team, Houston Rockets.
No, I don't believe Houston Rockets are a sleeper team.
No.
Nobody's Kings are more.
Who's the biggest? No, you can't think. They have Fox and they have Brown.
But people are overlooking them.
Yeah, but how would you can't even look at Houston Rockets. Who would you say their biggest player is?
Houston Rockets, the biggest player right now, I think they have Van Vliet, signed Van Vliet, they have...
and he's never an All-Star.
So the reason why people like the Houston Rockets is because of their coach. Ime Udoka is someone that has developed young players before. He has brought in a core together, stabilized them, if not for the fidelity issue that he had in Brooklyn.
I think that's the reason you see them as a
I think that's the major reason. If it was any other coach with those guys, you probably wouldn't raise them. But because Ime Udoka is there, and with his track record in developing young players and bringing a team together in his system, that's why you're seeing them as a sleeper team. Because, I mean, really, I don't think, who was this guy's name? Dylan Brooks doesn't scare me.
No, Brooks is...
Van Vliet doesn't scare me. So, why...
I think that Dylan Brooks would actually have like a point to prove coming this new season.
It doesn't matter if he has a point to prove. That guy is basically a less version of Draymond Green, in my own opinion.
Van Vliet is the kind of player that if you give him a team, he averages 30 every night.
But the Van Fleet
Ideally, but he took a step back last season, which was very surprising for why people thought he didn't really deserve that contract because of the Houston Rockets. And Houston were just trying to fish for the big free agent splash, right? He got 50 million initially from the Toronto Raptors, and now he got more from the Houston Rockets. Did he do a lot to deserve that, or he was just doing that based off the reputation he already gained from what he did at Toronto?
Well, so it's a sport, and there are not too many players at that top level. If you look at it, there's not too many players at that top level. So there are not many factors that can point to the quality of a player past their history. So you look at he took a step back, but who was he playing with? Who was he playing around? Who was the team wanted to push people like Scottie Barnes and people like Siakam? So he had to move back. I'm saying again, Van Fleet is someone that give him a team, let everybody play around or for him. He gives you 30 a night.
All right, fair enough. Firstly, let me just say that I'm upset. You guys are not calling my team. I'm not calling the Lakers.
Who's that?
I'm not calling the Lakers. Why are you disrespecting
Oh, see, you're like
the
you're
team
like,
that got to the
you're
Western
like-
Conference
you're-
Finals?
You're like
last
Man U,
season?
eh? You have a half decent season and start giving yourself hope for the next 5 years. What's going to happen?
So you think it's easy to have a percentage of 0.3 then get to the Western Conference Finals? You think it's easy?
Bro, like I'm talking about
We
this
beat
season.
your GS.
Where's
your
your
team
team
last
last
season.
I do think what happened with the Lakers was they finally were able to get good pieces within the season around AD and around LeBron James that
And
actually
they've kept the bulk of those guys.
But I think like I still honestly strongly believe that you guys are one Anthony Davis injury from like literally just capitulating.
I think those
LeBron James is not the LeBron James we used to
People
know.
keep saying that. They said that last
He's-
season. LeBron can't keep doing this. He averaged 30 last season. You keep saying that, like, this guy comes in and is going to show you that I can still
I'm not going to quote
average
from,
27
LeBron
points.
James point.
And though I agree, like Gabe Vincent is a fantastic addition, I have a
You have
problem.
depth.
I have a problem with adding people like Chris Wood. Like Chris Wood
Let's
was
not act like
trash.
Vincent is Pakistan.
Was trash for the Mavericks.
we don't know that.
No,
Because he has
offensively,
not-
we do know
coming
that.
off the bench,
Offensively-
he's been good.
No, I followed him last season a lot. Gabe is not the most concerned. Look at his points. Look at the average. Look at the points. Look at you see 15, then 2, then 3, then 11. Jiggers.
But he can be a good rotation player.
Exactly. We don't need him to be a starter. DeAngelo Russell is a starter. DeAngelo Russell will give you at least 15 to 20
When
points.
when
Nice.
it was DeAngelo last good season?
DeAngelo Russell last good season, injury free.
When was his last good season?
But he's
Injury
a,
free.
he's a confidence player.
He's a confidence player. When he has the
when
confidence,
he's on
now
when
he
he's-
feels like
when he's on
And
that
Lakers
zone,
is a good place to
when
be
he's in that
confident.
zone.
Yes.
Lakers is a place
He
where
said-
you have 3 bad matches and
He
3
has
bad
stayed
games,
with
and
the
then
team.
the fans
I
will
mean,
kill you on social media.
he decided
Like
that
Man U.
he decided he wanted to stay. That shows that
Lakers is not a place
I want
to
to take
build confidence.
responsibility for this team. Don't you
Even
think?
LeBron James has 2 bad games and they're coming for him.
Doesn't
Lakers
matter.
is not a place to build
The
confidence.
teams will always come for you if you have. But
No,
he
some
saw
teams
what
will
happened.
let you
He
happen
saw what
now.
happened last season with the way they went out to the Nuggets, all the talking and the deal. And he said, I feel like if you get these guys back together, we can make some noise in the NBA. And what did Rob Pelinka do? He went out and got those same guys back and then added really good squad pieces.
What do you think is their best addition?
Best addition, in my own opinion, honestly, is Christian Wood. I know you don't rate him, but I rate him a lot.
No,
Before his
I
injury
rate-
in the Mavs,
Can
I rated him a lot as a center.
Can I say why I don't rate Christian Wood? So because of my favorite player, that is Doncic,
Okay.
I happen to watch a lot of Mavs games. At best, Christian Wood is inconsistent offensively, and he's a no-show. He's a minus defensively. Like literally, how can Dwight Powell be starting over you? Like literally, and because of that, like I just they didn't resign him. They literally let him go.
Because they was like Onana.
Not really.
It
Because before,
centers first
he-
primary.
when he was at
you know how to
Houston, he was
defend.
doing really well before he got traded. So we can continue this conversation all night. But I want to ask you guys some quick fire questions, right? And just give me off the top of your head. Who's going to be your rookie of the year?
This is hard, bro. I have between Chet and Wembanyama.
Chet and Wembanyama. So you roll about Scoot Henderson. I mean, he has the floor now in Portland. He's going to be blazing from one end to another, scoring points, dunking the ball. Like, he's a great talent, and there will be more eyes on him.
I would like to say with regards to Scoot, I would like to see how he does like within the first 2-3 months. Okay, just to gauge, knowing that they now have like a really young squad, right? And then definitely he's not going to come in and start banging immediately. I think that is what people expect of Scoot, but I don't think he's going to have that instant impact as a lot of people might be thinking about it. But as I said, the first 3 months, let's see what he does.
Okay, before I come to you, Bolu, I think we have a question from the audience.
Alright, so the simple question, because I was listening to your analysis and you were talking about New Orleans and you were talking about Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, and McCollum. Now, McCollum and Brandon Ingram, good to go. Brandon Ingram has only had the blood clot issue and since then he's been stellar. But I'm confused as to why anybody in this generation would still be talking about Zion Williamson. Number one, you spoke about the fact that he came back and he looks fitter. This is not the first time. Zion has an issue with his weight. Like, it's so bad to the extent that he literally during practice went up for a dunk and he broke his foot. He's an athlete. He went up for a dunk and he broke his foot and he was out for like God knows how many games. This he has been in the NBA for like, what, 3 seasons, thereabout. How many games has he played in total? Probably like 30, 40 games, even though probably not even up to. So why and where do you have the confidence in such a player? This is the first time in NBA history. I'll give you examples. Like Shaq had an issue with his weight, right? But Shaq was able to manage it. Then you had Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp's son kept caught up to him towards the tail end of his career. Zion off the gate is having issues. So I will need to know where your confidence is for you to rate Zion Williamson to. First of all, do you even think he'll be able to go play 40 games this season before they have a chance? Because he is a very, very key player. Granted, he was picked ahead of Ja Morant.
Yeah,
But today, if you ask any NBA owner, like any club owner, any GM, like, yo, who would you pick to start your franchise? Ja Morant or?
I'm not sure they will pick Ja either because of what the guns and stuff. But fair enough.
I agree.
But you know the thing is, Ja Morant, as much as he has had issues off the court, but Ja Morant with good players around him is a point. He refers to himself as a point guard. And he's special. So my thing is, where exactly do you have the confidence in a player that in 3 seasons he went up for a dunk and he broke his foot?
Alright, so we'll leave that to Bolu since you're the.
So
That's what
I would also like to chip in something because he had before Bulu comes in. So Zion had this interview with Gilbert Arenas. I don't know if you've seen that interview, and he asked him a couple of questions, and then he seems to be in like a much better headspace. That was one of the things that he talked about. One. Another thing he talked about is as he's getting older, he's getting more mature, he's adding what he called wisdom people around him. People that are going to help him see him elevate his game to the next level. I think before now, Zion hasn't been so focused with regards to his fitness. But I think this off-season, like something actually changed, and he mentioned it pretty well within that like Gilbert Arenas when he had the interview, where he is a bit more focused. He's in a good headspace. He has the right set of people around him. He was talking about the different kinds of exercises that he needs to do, not much as this, but as more of cardio and things like that. So I think like this season, he actually has like a point to prove to everyone this season that he can actually stay healthy. Right, so I do think like Zion would actually try to, stay healthy because I feel like things surrounding him right now it's a bit different from the Zion we've always just known before now. Yeah, before I give to Bolu.
Not just come right. We've seen in the NBA over the past like 2-3 years, they've been trying to force an American on our face. They've done it with Zion, they've done it with Tatum, they've done it with Morant, but if we're being fair, if I tell you guys, the 3 of you guys now to call top 10 basketballers in the NBA, not all time, I'm saying at the moment, if you're drafting a list of 10 people, I've done this in our group chat before, you're going to call more Europeans and Africans than Americans. So I feel like the agenda Mr. Silva is trying to push, that's the NBA general manager or general commissioner, right, is, sorry to say, dead on arrival, because no matter how much, I heard recently Embiid said he's playing for US next Olympics, he will not remove the Cameroonian Samuel blood in his veins. I'm sorry. So like for Zion is still talented, but he's not that guy anymore. Like I try not to bring other sports, but let me just give a generic example. There are some athletes that they come up very promising, but when injury knocks on the door, you know that no matter how hard they try, they can never really be that guy. And sorry to say, Zion can never be the American face of the NBA game. Thank you.
Okay, so Bolu, I think.
Okay. So first things first, I just want to say that I agree with you. Zion has no incentive to be fit anymore. He has contracts that will set his generations up for forever. He had some of the biggest contracts in sporting history before he even played the NBA. So there's no incentive to work hard. If he retires at this age, he has made more money than a lot of people. So this all boils down to greatness and how much he wants to be great. Now, people forget one part on how great Zion is. Zion doesn't need to play to the level which he used to be anymore. I don't need Zion doing mid dunks anymore. You're a grown up, stop that. Like, you don't need it anymore. But if he plays what he's good at, Zion used to wrestle the ball off Giannis. He made Giannis look like biscuits. No, I know. So I'm saying that I get that. Like there's angles around his fitness, but if he plays in the system, if he plays in a system where they can properly micromanage him, look at what they did for Kawhi. I must say, Zion doesn't need to play 38 minutes or 30 minutes in a game. He needs to play 25, 28 minutes, full blast, and it's good. But again, long way to go. There's too many things at stake. I'm really rooting for Zion. I like what he brings to the sport. I like how he opposes what you expect a basketball player to be. He's relatively short and bulky, and he still jumps very high. So.
Beckham started so well last season. They started season so well. So everybody had that stereo. Beckham went to do well, Zion is fit and everything. And then at the end of the day, it did not go well. Now we are starting another season again. Are we still on the thing that Zion is fit?
So I feel like let me come in here, right? So I feel like the discussion of players, especially players that start their season off with crazy injuries, right? So I feel like when players come in and they start suffering injuries throughout their season, it becomes very hard for them to get back to that motivation, especially when they are made for life, basically. But in basketball, I've seen Embiid was one of those guys. He came in, first 3 years, he didn't play. Blake Griffin didn't come in, he didn't play in his first and was played with injuries throughout. But this guy still had relatively okay NBA careers, right? You still remember them and say, this guy had an okay career. He might not win a ring, but it was good for a stretch. And this is his third or fourth year. So we can't really write him off. If he says that he's in the right headspace, right?
And that's why I literally just want to allude to a bit more. Like he's actually saying right now, like
if he says
he's personally, it's the difference when you're writing someone off because he did not play. It's different, but we know that if he's fit, he's going to play. So it's the different thing. This is injury. It's the injury part everybody is skeptical about.
So injuries in basketball, injury always play a major part, right? Definitely. But I don't feel like it's something we should tag him with, especially because he's still growing. He's heavy. He's a very heavy player. If he's dropped weight and it feels like he can go, he can go.